Hey everyone, Ross from Two Notes here. Welcome to the 8th episode of our live stream series. I'm super excited about this one. We've got a special guest joining us today, Mr. Danny Gomez, CEO of Dirty Boy. We're going to dive into the brand new Dirty Boy components we've just dropped in Genome with the 1.12 update. We'll be exploring the history of Dirty Boy and the unique sound design possibilities and creative ways you can use these Genome components, whether you're a guitarist, producer, or an engineer, to really shape your tone. As ever, joining me is Two Notes CEO Guillaume Pille, and together with Danny, we'll mix some technical walkthroughs with real musical insight. So whether you're new to Genome, a long-time user, you'll come away with a solid understanding of what's new, how it integrates, and how you can use it across different musical settings. I'll be on the stream today and in the comments, so if you've got any questions, let us know and we'll bring them up on the stream. So, introduce yourselves, guys.
Yeah, well, I'll start because I hope some people know why I'm here, and if you don't, you know what? Just watch the previous episodes. But for this one, I'm personally very happy to welcome Danny to the channel for a number of reasons. Of course, we will talk about the products we are releasing today in Genome. I believe we talk about a few pedals. How many pedals, Ross?
It is 4 pedals, 1 TSM AI amplifier, and 3 cabinets.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But on a personal level, I mean, I've known Danny for many years. Danny wore many hats during the years. I remember when we met, you were working on an orange product, the with the Olmec brand. It was pretty awesome. Probably the very first audio interface in a tiny pedal format. I have one here in this studio that I've been using on some trade shows. It's pretty awesome. Danny is a professional guitarist. And so Danny has many hats, not only the Dirty Boy one, which is the focus for this meeting. But like I said, on the personal aspects of things, I'm very happy to finally find a way to work with you, Danny, because we've been talking for how long? Maybe 10 years? Like pretty
I would
much.
say so.
Yeah, and it was really a pleasure to have you here with the team because when we work on a product, of course, we involve the designer of the product because we are trying to recreate the best digital version of that product, but we never put anything out until the designer is happy with it. So, like I said, the personal note, I'm happy to have you here, and that's enough for me. So please, Danny, tell our viewers why you're here today
Well,
and
I'm
who you are.
Danny. You did amazingly well. I mean, I'm first of all, I'm a musician with an entrepreneur side. So I've been in and out of the musical instrument industry for several years. I mean, I've been like touring. It was like slightly more quiet. I jumped in for Fender for 2 years, came back for touring. Okay, jump into the Orange wagon for almost 7 years. Between the I licensed them the what became the Olmec Teleport. We get ready, we release it. We enjoy the 5 years license of that amazing product that brought me a lot of joy and fun and amazing friends like you guys. And when that ended, I was focusing to get my own spot. And after 5 years from the first incarnation of the first Dirty Boy preamp, I contacted the Saraceno family to say, hey, I think that it is time to bring more pedals under the same license format that we did in the past. And I got surprised when they liked the stuff that we delivered for the prototype stage. And chatting with Blues brought to the table the option of getting the company because his dad wasn't like doing more pedals up to that point. So it was like, okay, this is total Danny. Is like, okay, I will tell the company, I will make it happen.
That's amazing. I'm just curious about what point. Like, how do you get in contact with those guys? Because I mean, I wake up every morning and I don't say, well, you know what? Let's call the Saraceno family and let's make a product together. What's the
Well,
inception?
I think that I have quite experience like making crazy stuff like that. One of the I would say the biggest numbers of the agenda when I've been working with Brian May for several years. So every time on an interview, is when, well, that day I dropped Brian an email talking about the new book together, and it's like, okay, yeah, you did. Yeah, you bet you did. So I'm quite used of having an idea and try to find the right people to make it happen. I did with Brian, like recording, publishing a book, or being at the We Will Rock You for several years. I mean, 1,200 shows is quite a long time. And with that experience about contacting your idols and make the stuff happen, I'm not shy. I mean, I'm shy as a person, but as a professional, it's like I'm quite Latin. Let's say it's like, nah, I will drop you an email. So is that what I did? Yeah, 5, 6 years ago, through the Dirty Boy Pedals website to Alex Saracino. He say, I'm Danny. I'm working at Orange Amplifiers. I have my own I'm simulator pedals like this. I know that you know this one. This kind of the
Hmm.
TAE preamp. So it was this was an AC30. So it's like I'm working at Orange. I've been working at Fender. I have these analog preamps that we're selling with amazing reviews and so on. And I want to deliver, let's say, a Marshall E version of it with a Variac and so on, inspired of the amp that you built for your son now 30 years ago. So it was pretty like casual. Yeah, okay, see you next week at the NAM show. It wasn't planned for me to be at the NAM show that year. I was like, okay, you know what? I will get a plane ticket. I will be there. That was the attitude. It's like you can be a thinker or a doer. I choose to be a doer every day. So I went to the NAM show. We met half an hour. It's like, hey, this is the thing. This is the current preamp. I want to build this. And we came with this version of the Dirty Boy preamp
Mm.
with the Variac and so on. It's more elaborated. Worked fantastically well. I think some hundreds of it. Um, and right after that, I came back to tour quite intensively. My youngest son was born. I was again super like busy, but it's like maybe in the future. And 2 years ago, I dropped Blues a message through Instagram. It's like, hey, maybe it would be the right time. I don't know if your dad is building more pedals right now, but if not, I would be glad to build some, maybe 100 units of each model. Let's say, and curiously, are exactly the pedals that are on Genome right now. There
Yeah.
was the Bassy Boy, the Germanium Boy, the Afro Fuzz, and the preamps. Like, hey, would you mind if we do like 100 of each? I will pay you a royalty as we did, and I will take good care of the thing. Okay, let's meet. Let's meet at the NAM show again with some prototypes, very early stages stuff. It worked that well that it was like, okay, you got a deal. Let's talk about that. And I came back to Madrid during the We Will Rock You. I was I was playing a song, saying a couple of messages to me, say playing a song, and it was, would you mind if we put the Dirty Boy this instead of these because it works better for the layout of the pedal? Okay, let me check with my dad and I will let you know. Let me check with my dad and I will let you know. Back and forth. At the fourth time we did that, it was like, you know what? To me, I mean, your family to me. You're Danny Gomez Saracino from now on. But every time you ask for some change that I have to ask my dad has to reply, and
Mm.
I have to tell you, it's a pain in the ass. And I love you.
Mm.
I mean, I love you that much that what if you get a company and you can do whatever you want with the company? You can do toilet paper. You can do, I mean, merchandise. And you don't ask.
I know you know how to do many things, but toilet paper, come on.
I'm capable of that. So, so it was like, okay, well, I will drop you a number that is what honestly I can afford, and you guys don't feel insulted if it's not in the ballpark for you guys. It was like this. It was sounds good. I will let my dad know. Hey, and that was a Sunday, so on Monday was like, hey, it's Christmas. Now you can do the toilet paper thing. So that's how I got the company.
Yeah, because I was curious about the artist point of view because we know, I mean, we deal with many artists and we've been doing that for 20 years. Sometimes it's quick, but most of the times it take a
No,
long time. And not even I'm not even about talking about buying a company or a brand or but putting any together any kind of partnership. And that's Ross's job. And by the way, Ross is sorry, he's got some issues with his video, but he'll get back at some point.
he's getting ready for a big surprise.
Well, I mean, just seeing him at this point would be a
So,
big surprise.
so,
Um,
well, the thing
but yeah,
working with artists,
mm,
I discovered that at Orange. It's like I was there as just a consultant for my license. I mean, it was all about the Olmec teleport. Let's talk about the Olmec
yeah,
teleport and so on. But I had no role at the first time on the company, and I was like pitching artists, but I was pitching artists as big as, let's say, Guns N' Roses
mm,
or Glenn Hughes or Steve Vai or whoever. I was trying from a personal email. I mean, at hotmail.com,
mm,
the email that you have when you were a teenager, and you keep that email your whole life. And I
yeah,
was contacting Doug Aldrich or Richard Fortus or whoever through that email. And that thing, not being under, let's say, a company umbrella, it was like a small guy from Spain with a broken English trying to get a super big star, but without the pressure of having like one of the biggest companies in the industry. Is that it takes the pressure a lot off. It's like when you are at the NAM show and you go to the bathroom and suddenly there's Steve Vai.
yeah,
Everyone is with the word down. I mean, the guy is not expecting that someone wants a fucking interview there or taking a picture or get an autograph. Guy is a guy. He's a humble guy. He's doing his stuff. So when you get the people with the word down and just you come and humble, it's like, hey, you won't believe this, but I got something that is being licensed by Orange Amps, and I want you in. I mean, uh, would you mind? And I was just asking to RT relations, okay, would you mind to send a unit? And I was like setting them up. It was that new. Back to that day, it was that new
mm,
uh, that the Orange team hadn't a clear idea about to how to set up the thing. Okay, you have Richard Fortus and he has the unit. Okay, what goes next? So that what went next, it was Richard called Danny on the phone 3 a.m. in Madrid, and we were setting up by phone, not even a video call or
mm,
sharing the screen. No, no. Okay, you open the thing, try to change the buffer size, and suddenly, while I clean MIDI polyphonic MIDI with no MIDI picker was Eureka, we did it. But it was that analog into digital realm, I would say.
yeah.
It
Well,
was
there and
charming.
no, it's I mean, it's always funny. I mean, you can never know, but what's for sure is that you need to put a lot of time and energy to make it happen, and that's the secret here. The Also, I mean, you mentioned it quickly, but before working on the Dirty Boy pedal, and that's because people need to understand you have that double, again, I will say, hat, because you are at the same time you're a professional guitar player and you play very well. That's your job, and I mean, you have many shows to prove it. And at the same time, you're a product designer. And I mean, we talk about the teleport, but you mentioned also the preamp you worked on. And I
Yeah, the
think I have
DAE
one. I think I
preamp.
have the AC30
Yeah,
analog model, some sort. I have it in my
you do.
office.
You do. You do.
And so when you go into that Dirty Boy adventure, you have all that experience with designing several products, both in the digital and analog world. So when you start the conversation, you know how to make a pedal and how to make it sound good. And that, to
I
me, I mean,
definitely know what a players need. Let's say that is that what I can put on the table or what is a good tone. I
yeah,
won't say that everybody needs these or not, but I know one thing or two about tone. Is like I've been doing that many times that I know what to expect, not just from a player perspective, but from a musical director perspective. Like, hey, you're playing with more people. You need something that cut the mix. You need something that sounds good out of the box. You need something that has no crazy complex menus and delivers good tone and is roadworthy.
hmm.
It's like the teleport. I mean, you can drop these on a fucking Guinness pin and it's probably and it's working.
No, but that's good. I mean, if you aim at something that's hard to destroy, usually you're right. I mean, we know that people come with very creative ways to mess with product. And if it's not them, it's the plane company. If it's not the plane company, it's the baggage guy or the road guy who just.
Yeah.
I mean, and accidents happen. I'm not saying anybody's doing that on purpose, but
No, but you never
the
know. It's crazy
yeah.
ways to avoid warranty.
No, we know the products suffer a lot on tour. Even if everybody wants to be extra careful, but that's just how it goes. It's not like having the stuff plugged in my studio behind me. I mean, none of that is in danger. But the minute you
Yeah.
leave the office and you put it in a truck,
No, no.
You never know. You never know
Well,
what was.
we made a bet with ourselves when I got the company. That is, we guarantee every dirty boy pedal for life, for any second hand, third hand, even units that are being out for 30 years. You have a dirty boy pedal, you can ship it, and we will cover it. And I can say that publicly. Blues knows, his dad knows, everybody knows. It's like, you have a dirty boy pedal, and it's covered. Why? Because two things. We are super proud about what we deliver, and we know about the quality. And second, is the only way to have access to some unicorn units, because there are not many. I mean, when I got the company, I got no schematics, I got no art, I got no anything. I had to find my own way to recreate all that stuff. And part of that was reverse engineering our own stuff. So it's like, hey, your pedal is warranted. It's not working. Send that pedal. I will learn on the actual unit, and I will check it out. I will compare with the many schematics that will be delivering from different, let's say, Germanium boys, and I will
Mm.
know what a unicorn Germanium boy is, and we will be copying the very best unit every time. So in the other four, we decided to guarantee them all for life. Whatever that happened to that pedal, it doesn't matter that many people has been in hands of that pedal
Okay,
for
don't
life.
give them too many ideas. Like I said, they will come up with ways to destroy it and send you in a bag. I mean,
No,
it
they
happened
only
to
send you
us.
a knob. They send you a knob. It's like, hey, my pedal is broken. I need to refurbish it all. From
Yeah, you cannot grow a pedal out of just a knob. That doesn't exist
it's
yet.
not
Maybe.
DNA. It's not DNA.
Well, it's still a bit challenging. All right. So, what do you? I mean, what could you say is unique about the Dirty Boy brand? Of course, there is the Saraceno family, but in
Yeah,
terms of, let's say, the philosophy is always a big word, but the spirit behind the
yeah.
design. How? What are you trying to achieve, or the brand is trying to achieve? What's different about that brand?
Well, as you will notice right now, the father and son projects is what I love the most. I mean, Brian May and his dad building the Red Special, Blue Saraceno and his dad building the Dirty Boy amp is my thing. As a dad and as a son, is my thing.
Hmm.
So the story goes like this. Blues was like bored, let's say, that every time his Marshall heads were failing, and the techs around the area tried to fix them and not able to. So Alex learned how to do that, and he came with a Dirty Boy amp. That Dirty Boy amp worked amazingly well in the studio for Blues Records and the Poison years and so on. But right after that, Blues started doing more studio work in LA studios and so on, with a small amp that it was mainly a Silverstone, let's say.
Hmm.
Uh, and in order to get big sound with a small amp, his dad came with these crazy pedals based in, let's say, European pedals. It wasn't about the pedals at that era in the US. It was more about the pedals that you could get in the UK. And it was probably due to the connection of Blues with Cream, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker on the time that they played together. So he got into the Dallas Rangemaster, all the crazy 80s, 70s obscure pedals like fuzzes and so on. And Alex's take on that stuff is what delivered the first Dirty Boy pedals. And another very like classic characteristic on the Dirty Boy pedals is their finishing stickers, and we kept that. I mean, it's something. I mean, this is an original Germanium boy, and it has the same stickers that we are uh, shipping with them right now. We couldn't get access to the speaker to the stickers, but we scanned them all and scaled them as close as possible. So when you get a pedal right now, you get a pedal with nothing, and you need to put the stickers yourself, so you feel slightly like an Alex Saraceno for a while. So it's the tone, it's the experience, it's the obscure Germanium stuff that you're getting. Is that? I mean, Germanium, as you know, is super temperamental about temperature, about conditions, about humidity, about everything. So we want to deliver some tone machines that are alive and that can deliver a tone that is different. I mean, in an era of devices that can do 1,000 things quite good, to have one device that can do one thing amazingly immediately makes you different of any competence. I mean, we're not playing the same game, and we don't need to. We're delivering something very special, very unique, very high end, and that brought me to the idea of bring this to the conversation, especially with you guys, especially with Genome. It wasn't a thing that was like, okay, let's try, let's see who's interested to deliver this stuff. No, I know these guys are crazy enough to put the time, to put the 10,000 hours to master what that germanium pedal needs to be captured to a digital domain. Other than that, it's like a picture. I don't want a picture. I want the DIN IR treatment on the pedal, every angle, every little subtle nuance.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I believe we can talk about the process because when we work on a new device, so of course, people who know Genome, you know that we do effects, we do pedals, we do wahs, we do many other effects, and of course amps and cabinets. Most people know us for the Dynara technology, but we also have many other effects. And I'm just a little bit worried that the stream seems frozen, so I hope it's still working. It is working. We lost Danny, maybe.
We've lost Danny. We
All
lost
right.
me, and then we lost Danny.
It's it's not our best one, but
I think we dealt with it quite well, Guillaume.
definitely interested. Well, I keep talking. So when we want to capture stuff, we use several kind of technologies. We use electrical modeling. We use algorithm like classic DSP algorithm, and more recently, I mean, for the past 2 years, we've been using also neural networks. So some people say AI. It's not really AI. It's a very simple kind of AI. Danny's back. So for Danny's product, we have to usually the approach we have to design something like that, and I think it's twofold. Uh, Danny mentioned the stickers and the aspects of the pedal, and I think that's the visual identity of a brand is extremely important. And when we want to work with a partner, and we had previously Jupiter FX, which has a very strong visual impact on the user when you look at the product, and it's the same with the Dirty Boy products, which I think what I like about it, and we will talk about the sound, but just having the product in hand, it looks like something that was crafted by the man himself
Yeah.
who's putting the stickers on. And it is that boutique feeling that people love. I'm sensitive to that. I mean, it differentiates it directly from mass production product, which I'm fine with. I mean, that's what we do is two notes, and it's a different approach. But as a user, I think it's that kind of personal touch is important, and that's something we try to recreate in Genome. And people will see. I believe Ross, the Dirty Boy stuff is available now, right? I mean, people can try it. Right. I mean, apparently I can't. Oh no, I need to download the latest Genome. I don't
You
even
need to get the latest installers, Guillaume.
Yeah, I will be doing that while we talk.
Yeah.
So I have to say, for my defense, I spend the most of the day because we developed always new technologies and stuff. So I was actually testing a new toy, and it's awesome. It's not coming to Genome before next year, I think, but I'm working on it now, and so I had to use an older version of Genome for it to run. So I'm actually doing what people will have to do to be able to try the Dirty Boy release, which is downloading Genome. I'm doing it right now. And installing it. So I was trying to see the new and to show the new Genome stuff. Total amateur hour. I'm sorry about it.
Oh no, don't worry about that. There's actually some really cool things while people are on the stream. We've got a really cool preset library that Danny and his artists pulled together, and the presets are awesome. So if you want to demo all of these components, all of these amps, pedals, cabs, you really should go and get that preset library. It's available on the downloads page on our website, and also the Dirty Boy page as well, and on the blog article. So you can't really miss it. Just land on any of the pages, and we've put a link. We put a link to the preset downloads, and yeah, I had a play with them the other day, and I think they sound absolutely awesome. So it's definitely worth a try.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's good to provide to people a starting point, and thank you, Danny, for putting the work on that, because I mean, I usually don't use presets, but because that's most of the time I know what I'm I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing, and I've been trying the component. So what we call the components are individual blocks that you can have in Genome and move them around. So I know them very well because I've tested them before they are released. So I don't need the presets, and I know what I like, so I will use them. And if I manage to install Genome, I will be able to show that to the people. Apparently, my network is very bad today. But yeah. So for our process, so of course we start by studying the sound of a product. So I've talking about the aspect of the product and how we can translate the user interface of a physical product into something digital that makes sense. Like there are some stuff that are like, I don't know, like if on a pedal you have very tiny dip switches that are hard to see, we will usually change the interface so it's easier to use in the computer. In the case of the Danny Boy release of Dirty Boy, sorry, Danny Boy, of the
Danny
Dirty Boy
boy.
release, isn't
oh
it a movie, Danny
no,
Boy?
it's a song. Oh,
It's a
Danny
song, Danny
boy.
boy.
It's a song. Sorry, trying to do too many things at once. So the in the Dirty Boy release, of course, we worked a lot on the user interface, and there will be a point in this stream where I will be able to show it. But anybody can demo it, and but on the sound stuff. So since the technologies we use, usually we do not require the schematics, so we don't most of the time have to go really deep into the architecture of the product we study, or even measuring parts. We sometimes do it. I don't think we've done it for this release, but most of the time now we will be using neural networks, and we have a whole range of networks that we use. We have some that work better for fuzz or for amps or pedals, or depending on how much distortion we get, or and when we have choruses or phasing effects, we use DSP to do that, or a mix of things. And I believe, Danny, you work mainly with Igor, right?
Yeah,
For
well,
that part.
what an experience. And I have to say, what a blessed heart and mind this guy has. I mean, was an amazing experience to compare the stuff that he was delivering by himself. As I shipped the pedals, he had some time with the pedals. When I met you guys this summer, it was like mesmerizing, taking the stuff and seeing how uh organic was compared with the arenas, and it was just a matter of little details. And I'm telling you, little details. It's like maybe if the I don't know, this position, maybe we could squeeze it a little bit to make it more even, all the positions and so on. But things that they're even better than on the original pedal, if that's possible. I mean, controlling the noise, controlling the way that the variac is destroying the signal. That is something super complex. I mean, we're talking about the digital realm, and we're talking about destroying the signal with a variac, like the starving voltage on an amp. So I mean, we have an amp, you have like a variac, but you're reproducing that on a pedal that is being reproduced digitally. I mean, it's like 3 times the replica. It's like you make a copy of your ID card 3 times, and you suddenly you're a minion. You have no face, you have no all your architecture. So listening the pedals, like you're expecting. I mean, I use these pedals every day of my life from the last 1 year and a half. It's like I know what to expect. It's like it has to be no. You expect something because I understand that the customer that tries something for the first time is like, it's always exciting, but I know what to expect. Like dong, and you need to hear how the variac turns the signal into almost 8 bits and suddenly dies. So all the little details, I spent time with him, and we went. And when I went to the studio, we painstakingly capturing cabinets, including this cabinet that I took with me on the train. I mean, there was analog at the finest. I was on the train with my luggage and guitar and pedals and a cabinet. It was like a 50s movie all the way to Montpellier. It wasn't fancy, but it was like,
It's like when you first start gigging, Danny. You know, you don't have
yeah,
a van.
not at all. It's like on the train, but it was fantastic because I think that kind of stuff and putting time into things is what's matter. I mean, I obviously am not against of technology. I mean, you can put a robot like moving up to capture all the different positions in 1 minute. I like that. I love that. It works fantastically well for high gain amps, but not for these crazy germanium pedals, or not for these half destroyed cabinets like the 2x12 that we have on Gino right now. That basically we need to open a 4x12, destroy two speakers, like disconnecting them, put the back again, and capture the thing with all the out of phase things happening inside the cabinet. And that thing is magic. I mean, otherwise it's just flat. And with that, it's magic. It sounds better. And the response I've been getting the last weeks of the people that I trusted to try this stuff. I mean, I'm not clearly, I'm not the right person to evaluate up to that point, because I know the pedals, I know to spec. But from people that are fresh, it's like, hey, you try this stuff, let me know. And everyone said it's the best digital stuff I ever tried, because it sounds as organic that is almost so analog.
Yeah,
Boom, it's
and
like,
you know what? To do that, I mean, and that's the thing. And Igor, so Igor was on the channel. I don't remember in which episode, but Igor is really the man here building that stuff. And I think there, in the stages of developing that stuff, of course, we have some core technologies that we use, but every time we have a new product, we need to figure out which one would work better. And usually we end up with a hybrid solution where we use some technology to do a part of the product, some other stuff to do some other effect, and then maybe some final correction, EQ, whatever, compression and stuff. So it's always a mix of many, many things. So actually, when you look at the inside of the genome plugin and the inside of one of those effects in there, it's actually many, many, many blocks that make sense together. But that's the magic part of it, which is more like sound design. So Igor has some basic bricks, and sometimes we need to create new science to be able to get to the point where we are happy with it. And we have, again, many, many tools to do that. But it's every time like there is no recipe. It's not like, it's not a camper profile. It's not like
yeah,
you push a button, you wait to get the result and you have it. It's really more complicated than that, and it requires both the technical knowledge but also a little bit of sound design, a little bit of magic, and also being a musician. Otherwise you just can't
agreed.
hear what's happening. So I have on my screen, because I have Genome now, and I have your various effects. So I will share that, and hopefully it won't break. Let's see. There it is.
We're using all the technology today.
It's
Like we're pushing to the limits.
We are
Look at
pushing.
you.
Look at that. Look
it's
at that.
it's amazing. So, well, I mean, when I first used them some time ago, when we were at the prototype stage, well, first of all, it's an amazing carpet. I don't know, I don't have it here, so I don't know where we found it, but it's an amazing carpet. But
Where
more
did
important,
the
It's
carpet
over
come
there.
from?
That carpet is the actual carpet we used last year to build the first Dirty Boy pedals and put the stickers on them. If you go to our Instagram and go to back to last year, is my grandmother's carpet that is over there. So I sent the team a picture. So every time that you're using our stuff, you have my carpet.
There we
you
go.
know, that's a level of detail we want in Genome. And
Amen to that.
it sounds a bit stupid and unnecessary, but and that's how we build all our product, or we design our product. They all have a history, and everything makes sense. There's a reason for everything. I remember on the Jupiter FX amp, we had that Chris sticker on it. We have that
Yeah,
Chris sticker on it because the amp we capture is actually Chris's own amp. We have the number 0 that became a series of amp, but we did capture the number 0 because that amp has a history. And so we have the grandmother's carpet, and then we have the pedal. So what people have under the hand is actually, and I mean, I'm always amazed by the genome interface. I'm not saying it because it's my stuff, but the when you turn the knobs and when you press the switches, I mean, you're instantly like it's like having the real thing, right?
No, and
Uh,
and they're not like, let's say, ideal looking pedals. They have some scars, but they're actually units. I mean, these Afro Fuzz was loaned by my friend Carles, and it's an actual unit. But if you open the Germanium Boy, is this unit? I mean, you can compare this unit to the unit on the screen, and it's the same unit with the same history and scars and so on. You know what I mean? We're talking about exact pedals, and this is the preamp one that we use for that. I mean, you can see the sticker, you can see the placement, you can see the little things. Is the very unit. I mean, you're not playing, let's say, a Dirty Boy preamp. You're playing my preamp, my unit that I took with myself.
that's awesome. So let's go through them all. So we start with the Astrophos. So please, Danny, explain to us what it is.
Okay, the Afrofuzz is Alex take on a fuzz face ish. Is a fuzz that does everything. Is not uber velcro thing, or it's like a fuzz that you can use pretty for everything. It's not extreme, but it's not soft, and it's super versatile, especially because the frequency knob that allows you to change the overall response of the pedal. I mean, can be extreme over high gain amps, but on a subtle crack amp is more than good enough to play whatever. And it's super dynamic. Even on if it's digital version, you can drop the volume a little bit down and you can get it more creamy.
Okay, so what would be a good starting point? Like I just launched it, and I'm too lazy to get the presets. Where
I like this guy. So frequency, let's try slightly over noon. Let's go
okay,
4-ish. 4 is my way to go.
okay,
I will drop level at noon.
okay. So around
That's it.
here.
Or you can double click and it goes to noon.
That is correct. Thank you for telling me how my software works. You double click and it goes there. That is true.
I just spend my time with your stuff. And fast
That's what you
and
said. No.
and
Okay.
fast I would go slightly over noon. That would be my take.
Okay. So pretty much almost everything in the middle as a starting point. That's great.
It works to
I
me.
mean, okay, that's awesome. So we have that first fuzz. Then we have the Buzzy Boy here.
Okay, the Bassy Boy is more about the fizz than about the fuzz. It's not like it's more defined, it's more liquid, and it's based on a crazy take that is more about three very old germanium interlinking to each other, creating like a live beast inside of that. It has no on the original pedal. You have of the FX out, but it has no master volume, so there's no way to get unity gain
Mm.
with the original pedal. So basically, it's like ding, 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 whoa, whoa. So it's not a pedal. You get the thing.
See, I don't need to
So
plug a guitar. I mean, we have
no,
Danny.
no. Yeah, it's like it's air guitar. So it's like whoa, whoa. So it's too much. But it's a too much that you can control later with the volume on your instrument. But it's not the kind of
Ah,
pedal you're turning in and out like a booster or an overdrive or whatever. I will go for frequency on the second. Balance is slightly over noon. The timbre stuff slightly more than noon, and I will go for that. It looks good. Yeah, frequency at 2.
okay. So
It has
frequency has
3
three
levels.
steps, right?
Yeah, so I will go
So
for the
so we go
second.
in the middle.
Yeah, it looks good to me that way. Yeah, timbre could be slightly more, but it's a great starting point, and obviously depends on the amp you're putting that in front, as whatever the all the stuff that we have. It all depends on the amp.
So you
And
mean for this one, since there is no output level, as you mentioned, I mean, we do have on Genome, so that's not on the pedal, but on Genome you can still play with the FX out, and so you can fit 12 dBs more into the amp if you
yeah,
feel you want more level. But in the real pedal, I believe your idea is to like you said, control the
Yeah.
effects with your guitar volume rather than playing with the level going into
Yeah.
the amp. I think that's very smart. And I seize the occasion to because we get a lot of questions from users about the proper input level they should
Uh-huh.
have in Genome, because since it's not, I mean, you plug into an audio interface and we don't know how your audio interface works. You probably don't know either. But usually, Ross, I believe we ask the people, I don't have any input level right now, but they should be around minus 12 or minus 8. What
It,
should I see on my, so we have a bar graph over.
about around there, yeah. And we have a really helpful support article. If you go to support.2-notes.com, we've got an article there about calibrating your input level and Genome's input level for the optimum response out of all of our components. We share that quite a lot, and the players that have used it have found it really, really helpful. It's a set and forget type of thing. But once you've done it, you are hearing Genome how we hear Genome
Exactly.
when we're developing things.
Exactly, because we have ourselves to set an ideal level. So of course we want to be way under clipping at the input. That's why you have that input level here, so you can actually adjust. You can adjust the level going into those pedals, and those pedals are very sensitive to the input level.
They
So
are.
imagine when you play with your volume, you actually connect into the audio interface, and you have another volume here to set to be at the right value. So
Mm.
thank you, Ross. But we very often, like you said, on our support, and we usually recommend as a starting point, set up your input level in Genome, into Genome properly, so you get the best out of the effects that come after, especially when we have fuzzes or any kind of a drive that is very sensitive to the input level. That's important. My method is I turn knobs until I'm happy, but I think it's good that we give people a good starting point. So
It's good.
now,
It's good for the techies. And before we move from the
yeah,
Bassy Boy, I will let you know something. Since we're starting discussing this, since I brought Bruce Saracino to the testing team, let's say, we talk about that master volume thing, and since it was covered in Genome, we started offering it as a mod in our physical pedals. I mean, it's and it's not the last thing. I will tell you another thing that
okay.
Genome brought to the analog domain. I will keep that for later.
That's an interesting take. Okay, let's
It is.
continue with this one. So this is
Okay.
the
Ge-
germanium pedal.
That's it. The Germanium Boy is the pedal that started it all. There was an early stage version of this, was called the Germanium Slut. Not no pun intended. Uh, yeah, it was fun to talk about this pedal at the Guitar Summit. So the thing is that it's a Dallas Range Master with a 12 frequency selector, but basically it's an ideal Dallas Range Master with a twist. It's super true to the original. I mean, even the cuts on the frequency knobs have been deeply tested, and all
Yeah,
the stuff that Blues, for example, delivered about this was okay. What the ideal starting point to this pedal when you load it would be this setting for people to get the most of it, like on the Afro Fuzz, but it wasn't like big surgery stuff. Like, no, you're not getting the position 3, it's not right or whatever. It was like we were all the time at home and being not inconsistent, but being that different one unit to the other. I mean, we could be, if we weren't talking about one particular unit that is this one with
mm,
these scars and so on, you couldn't tell difference. I mean, could be no, it's another unit. That's okay. But we're talking about one particular unit, so this pedal sounds like my unit, one to
yeah,
one to one.
and we even recreated those steps that you have on the frequency
Mhm.
knob. So it's not a continuous setting; it's
No,
actually a,
no, it's click, click, click. Even the sticker. I mean, you see the level of details. Is my sticker?
that's excellent. So
It's nuts.
what's the good starting? So this one has only two knobs. So I guess that's a little bit of a you get
Uh,
to turn, especially the gain is
gain,
very.
gain all the way up, and yeah, and go to the star. The star is my favorite setting.
That's the one.
That's
Ex-
it.
Excellent. So and so yeah. So the yes. Sorry, I'll just I just get to the next one. That's my favorite one, and I
Thank
believe
you.
isn't this the original design? Maybe the first product. I'm not sure.
Well, it was the first product. These and these, let's say they're cousins. So as you can see,
Yeah.
basically, it's the different layout, and the barrier here was bigger and so on. But basically, it's the same concept, and that both that are based in these. So
Okay.
this was the AC30. We changed a little bit the cabinet emulation to sound more like a 4x12 greenback, and we added the Bay React. So, but basically, it's the same pedal. I mean, you put this pedal this way, and you add the Bay React here, and you get it.
Okay.
So
That's why.
yeah,
Okay.
It's
the original
one of the most
EPMs.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's one of the most awesome parts of this release. The preamp is so good.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
So okay.
the thing
Oh,
is that it's more like a Marshall on steroids with a Bay React, and it has two outputs. It has like a preamp output that you can use it as an overdrive or directly to the front of your amp, or using the same output you can go to any effects loop return or power amp or whatever, and you have the emulator output. That is great to have on Geno because you can skip all the cabinets if you want just the dirty boy thing that the preamp is intended for. You can go with that and always select the voltage. You can change the from 9 to 12 like on the real pedal, and you can get some extra headroom moving to 12, and the barrier behavior change a little bit. Other than that, it's an amazing overdrive with still with the barrier option, or a full preamp to connect to whatever right after.
Okay. So for example, so yes, there are. I mean that interface is busier than the others. So we have at the top. I was playing with it. So we have that preamp output and emulated output. So in that case, for example, if I'm using the emulated output, after that, probably I will not use a real amp. I mean, in
No,
genome or cabinet, straight
no.
into some effects and stuff.
Yeah, in this case, I would use that. For example, in the real world situation, I will go to the front of the house, maybe with a stereo delay or slap little tap delay right after that to make the things even more stereo, and that's it.
Okay.
On the real pedal, you can use both outputs at the same time, but there's no need to on Genome.
Mm.
But you can go directly to the some effects, and sounds great. I think that I did that on my main preset that I share with you guys is that with just a little bit tap delay, and it's more than enough. It's like guitar preamp, pack, slightly ping pong delay, and it's all good.
I
But
know the preset you mean, Danny.
yeah,
It's great.
and it's nothing. It's
Yeah,
a
it's really
guy,
good.
a guy with his preamp, and just
Yeah,
the
it's great.
preamp and a stereo delay. It's like gong, 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 gong,
Yeah.
gong. Slightly nothing, but suddenly you can actually see the one pedal can do the gig. I mean, you have enough gain just to play lead. You can back a little bit the volume down, you are into the rhythm thing, you back a little bit more, you're into the crunch or even clean stuff depending on your playing. The Variac, if you don't go like super loud that you're destroying the signal, it's just a matter of probably harmonics and dampening the things a little bit. On full, you have a happy amp, happy life. But if you're around noon, it's more the Van Halen kind of things, like you're getting more even harmonics, you're getting more mojo stuff. And if you're moving to the first third of it, it depends on how you play or even how you set up the voltage selector on top, that you can get more 8 beats kind of thing or more giant stuff that is great to guitar layers on recordings and so on.
So yes, because okay, I'm guessing the gain, tone, and volume that's pretty self-explanatory, but we have a 912 switch
Yeah,
at the top, and of course we don't change the voltage in the software because that makes no sense.
no.
But we know that the pedal will react differently. How would you define the main difference between the two?
If you're working at nine, let's say 9 volt full variac is the let's say the regular amazing tone. If you do the same but at 12 volt, you're getting more headroom, so it's like less gainy-ish, is more say brown tone. And if you start playing with the variac, you can find that the behavior is slightly different. It breaks in different spots, and the harmonic content is slightly different. So I will go 12 volts, and I will go around the like 2 o'clock for the variac, and
Okay.
that would be like, yeah, Van Halen territory, about both about gain, about grain, about the feeling of the sponginess of the pedal. I will go for that. Tone is great at noon, slightly more if you have like a dark guitar and so on, and volume to taste.
Excellent. And now, so that's the big baby. And when Danny came to visit us in Montpellier, he had, so that's the stuff you had with you in the train, right?
That's it. That's exactly that cabinet. And the idea was just to capture the cabinet. But in previous discussions with Ross and with Igor and so on, well, like maybe to have like a proper exclusive amp could make like the full bundle instead of having just the pedals or just the cabinet. The cabinet is something that have been in tunos for such a long time, and the pedals for Gino was something that new that could be worth by themselves. But maybe the missing link was to have like a proper amp, not based on anything else, but something new. Since I have this cabinet that is an actual, it's not an amp, it's a cabinet with knobs to look like a Silvertone. But so when we capture the preamp, and since you have the technology for a power amp, we put it
Oh,
all together and create some kind of Frankenstein. So this is the Dirty Boy preamp with a 3-band EQ and a power amp. And
excellent.
this is the second thing that came from digital to analog. And I think, as far as I check, that is the first time that a digital product turns into an analog product. So we are ready to release the Silver Boy preamp. That is
Awesome.
basically that virtual amp analog. That is the preamp with the 3-band EQ. So it's
Oh
basically the same
wow.
features of the digital. So now we're analoging digital.
You realize that you're running out of space on that tiny pedal, right? I mean, you really need a bigger one.
Yeah, it's a pedal not to be, not for the faint-hearted. You cannot like be like kicking all the time. So we came with an idea that is the pedal toppers. So now we're using
Yeah.
pedal toppers to make it a little bit safer. Other than that, you can kick them also. We're having this cakes one.
Very nice. Very nice.
Come on, I want it in Genome now. Ah,
Yeah.
that's cool. But Danny, so is that pedal available? I mean, was it released already, or are you still working
It
on it?
You won't believe this, but we've been keeping this thing until Genome was released with the Silver Boy amp. So now, if you like the digital, you can get the analog.
That's, I mean,
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah, that's absolutely awesome. I mean, that's the beauty of the digital stuff, because it's so easy to try things. I mean, you don't have to solder anything. You can just move around, add some controls, remove them. That's how actually we build some of our TSM AI amps. Like, we figure out that if a
What if?
control,
It's like, what if? What if? Let's
yeah,
see. What if?
no,
And it working
the
that well. And even Blue Saraceno loved the thing. The story is, as I mentioned before, is that he started playing with Silvertone amps with the pedals. So it makes sense to bring some Silvertone mojo, but with our electronics. So it's more about the look, but it eats the pedal that well that it's like, okay, we need this thing. It sounds like the preamp, 3-band EQ, slightly different cabinet emulation. I mean, the preamp output is the same, but with the 3-band EQ, but the cabinet emulation, instead of being a 4x12 or a 1x12, is more like a 2x12-ish. So it works great for the box AC30 flavor. It works for this Silverton thing. It works for the 4x12. So yeah, we're adding a couple of more gizmos to it, and it's ready to be pre-ordered from now on the website. But now that we
oh,
have the software out,
that's awesome. And then for the cabinet part, so I will have to search for it in my library. But for the cabinet part, so it's the cabinet of that unique amp
yeah.
that I was surprised that thing would even work. To be honest, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh wow, that thing will probably take fire at some point." But no, it did work. So what's the name I have to search in there? Is that Silver?
If you search for Dirty Boy, it will
You have
you'll
the three
see,
of them.
yeah, all three of them. There's a 1x12, a 2x12, or an oversized 2x12.
Maybe I'm being punished because I don't see them yet, but it could come from my connection. So let's not assume anything. But
Well, the thing, well, we'll cover you. The thing is that the 1 by 12 is exactly this cabinet, the cabinet that I took with me on the train, is like a
yeah,
silver tone cabinet, slightly deeper to accommodate regular speakers. So basically, it's the Silver Boy amp, 90
yeah.
degrees, nothing fancy. But the thing is that it's being artificially relic to look like a destroyed amp. So that's why it looks like being on fire super soon. It has an Alnico Gold speaker that covers from that box AC30 stuff that I really like from my Brian May tones years, but it's a slightly broader tone. So it's more like a session ace amp, very geek, very love, and so on. About the 2 by 12, is a nice story that I read on Blue Saraceno's Instagram. He loved a 4 by 12 cabinet, but with two speakers that were damaged, like basically on fire. So it was like 4 by 12 with just two speakers working. And that creates some out of phase stuff inside, like with a more like a foreman thing inside of it.
Okay.
So when we got the 4 by 12 by Greenbacks that was intended for the 4 by 12 DIN IR, it was like a matter of opening on the back, removing some wires, put the back on again, and capture the same cabinet again. I mean, it's the same cabinet with two speakers not working and sounds different. Sounds like it's like the Berwick thing. It's a thing. I mean, I don't know what exactly is happening there, what magic forces, but you have like two speakers that are there, but they're not working. So things are moving slightly different and work.
Well, I mean the physics behind it, and that's funny you mentioned it because on very small speakers. I'm not talking about guitar speakers like your, I don't know, your Google Nest or
Mhm.
Amazon Echo stuff. Like you have a very small stuff, but they still manage to provide some low end frequencies. And the physics would tell you that, well, you can't because it's too small, right? And there is one technology that's the called passive radiators, where you have a membrane that is not connected to anything, but it will actually react to the compression of the air in the enclosure. So actually what you do a little bit, I think, I mean, I hope I'm not saying something stupid, but I think when you have those speakers actually not connected to anything or not doing anything, they still work, and they actually change the volume
Yeah.
of the box. So you have more pressure coming from the speakers who are pushing, increasing pressure, but the other ones are actually reacting to it. So if you could see in slow motion what's going on, you would have the actual speakers moving and the other ones moving in opposite phase. So
Oh
when
wow.
there is compression, there is actually detent from the other speakers. So they are, whether you like it or not, participating in the sound.
Yeah, no, no, that it was. I had no idea about that physics. That it's amazing, but I was feeling that kind of out of phase stuff. Again, my Brian May years come to the rescues. Like I feel that, oof, that mid range thing that is that again, it's a thing. You cannot get that flavor of any other DIN IR because nobody is that crazy. No, let's disconnect some speakers. Let's see again. Let's see what's the word that got happen. Let's see. Maybe we're yeah, I don't know, destroying the cabinet or destroying the power amp or whatever. Let's try. And
Well,
it
I
working
mean,
amazingly.
it's hard to break anything. I mean, so you should definitely try. And someone mentioned, so Poo Ninja, hey, very happy to see you there. We have a few friends in the chat here.
Okay.
Virtual R&D is less expensive. Well, not really, because before you can do anything, you need to build the bricks and you need to build the microscopes, the digital stuff, and that is not cheap.
Not
That's
yet.
actually, it's a lot more money than just soldering a few things and see if it breaks or works. I mean, at least that's my experience. But it's more comfortable and cleaner because you're not using a soldering iron or anything. You can do that from your desk and sitting on your ass and just playing guitar while moving around things. So it's a different approach. But I mean, I've dedicated my career to do that and
You
and
bet.
just try around algorithm and stuff, and it's very fascinating. I think it's the first though that we have actually an impact of the digital stuff we design into the analog world. And that's, I mean, can't be the only time it happened, but for us, it's definitely a new thing, and I think that's that's one of the success of this adventure. Danny, I wanted to. I mean, you talked about the cabinet capture, so I believe you did the capture at the studio that is very special to me, the Mirador studio. How did
It
you?
is.
What was your experience with this place, which is
It's
special?
incredible. And no, the place, just let's talk about the view. I have a coffee, seeing the view, everything sounds better. Uh, that's it. I
So,
mean, whatever the stuff you deliver there.
so that the one of the specifics of that place, that it's at the on the side of a tiny mountain we have, like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And since everything is very flat around it, when you are sitting in the, so not in the studio because you don't have that many windows, but you just have to go out of it at the table there, and I had many coffees there. And you just see all that land just at your feet, and I think it's very inspiring.
No,
Like
definitely was to me. Definitely
the
was to me.
inside of the studio is very nice. You have stone, you have wood, you have regular walls, and
An
then when you
amazing
go out,
gear,
it's like,
all amazing gear inside. And suddenly, as you see the view, that is called, obviously, that goes the name Mirador.
and
Uh,
yeah, and they have all the. I mean, Mirador has been one of our most prolific capture master, if
yeah,
not
those
the
days.
most prolific capture master. So they did countless cabinets with us. So the minute we have like a high profile capture to do, like your stuff, Danny, we say, all right, we go there because first of all, they know the process. They have the best gear, the best outboards. They have an awesome console. You've seen is it a Sony console they have there? I don't remember. Or it's not Sony. It's actually a company that Sony acquired
Yeah.
to make their console. I can't remember it from the top of my head, but it sounded great. And every time, like I said, every time we know we want the best sound, we just ask them, and they are very good friends. But haven't been there for some time, and I need to go. But they also have some very cool guitar amps and cabinets. So
They have all
if
the
you are
good stuff. All the
yeah,
good
if
stuff.
you are into vintage sounding stuff, they really have everything, and also the
That is.
experience going there is
No,
something.
no,
Parking your car is not great though, but
no, it's not.
No,
It's not. But
no, it's not.
fortunately, I had Rafael with me, because other than that, it's like that. You rent a car and you go over there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, you need to go up that road. And Ross
yeah,
had
well, I
to park
drove
the
up it in a
van.
van, nearly died.
And said, ah!
Yeah. No, it was that is lovely there. It's a lovely studio. It's got great sound to it. We did the anniversary edition cabinet collection there. And it's one of my favorite cab collections that we've got. And that's all in Genome, by the way, guys. You get that with the standard Genome license. But no, I think it's we're really excited for this, our users to see what this Dirty Boy release sounds like. I like the fuzzy, nearly chaotic tones. That's right in my ballpark. And after playing these, they hit the mark on everything that you want.
Yeah, and Ross, I'd like to say hi to a good friend because he was there in the string. Paul Di Maio. Sorry, I'm losing my words here. So I believe Paul was there. I don't know if he's still there in the chat, but of course, Danny, you know Paul.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, hi, Paul. So, Paul, well, we're working on something with Paul. I can't say what,
Oh, I like that.
but Paul is involved with. I mean, I've known him forever, working with different audio companies, always high end stuff. He's very specific about tone and everything. So it's only the best companies he's working with. So. Paul, thank you for being here. But I believe there will be. I see in the future a possible streaming where he's involved. So I can't say too much about it. But what do you think, Ross?
100%. I won't say anymore.
No. I probably said too much already. There was a question I had, which is because we always have that digital versus analog debate, and I think technology nowadays, the digital one. I mean, the analog. There are still some things we can do with analog stuff, and sometimes the beauty of the analog product is that there is a bit of a chaotic aspect about trial and error and finding stuff you weren't searching for. In digital, it's sometimes a bit more complicated because like happy accidents in the digital world are less likely to happen. But the what's your take on it? I mean, obviously, Danny, you're not against digital, otherwise we
at
wouldn't have that
all.
conversation. But do you think the I mean, how do you see the future of our industry, at least our little guitar industry? I mean, how do you see your rig evolving? Do you think you will have more digital? Do you think? I mean, to me, there is a place for everything. Like mixing analog and digital. That's where like taking the best. I'll give you an example, and of course, I'm preaching for my church, but the I think it's hard with analog tools to do something as good as the dynamic we can do or the convolution stuff. It's hard to get the same
It's
stuff.
hard
You
to
get a
beat.
good sound.
Definitely, it's hard to beat. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a good sound with analog modeling, like speaker modeling, but it doesn't really sound like a really mic'd speaker. Like you can't get the room, you can't get the early reflections. So the convolution, or of course, you can use neural networks now to do cabinets. I mean, there are many ways to do it, but the digital world kind of wins with that. And like same with reverb, like not everyone can have like an entire room with a massive plate to get plate reverb, and the digital reverb wins just on that aspect. Or even a very good spring reverb can be great. But for of course for amps and pedals, well, I think the analog world still has something to say. But how do you see your own rig? So you still play, of course, but how do you integrate both? Or how do you see things moving in the future?
My rig, let's say that I have to take on that. I have my fly rig is probably analog front, digital end. Analog front with the Dirty Boy preamp, for example, with cabinet emulation, analog cabinet emulation. I will and probably an Eventide H90 for stereo effects, and that's good enough for, let's say, a NAMM show or a small tour, a mid-size tour. If I need to go bigger or I need more detail, something like Opus could be like perfect partner in crime, and use analog and using something like or cab M plus, something like that, for that more flexible cabinet simulation. Right after that, some more effects. And if I need something before that, like a wow, whatever, it would be all analog up to this point that turns into digital. So it's analog front, digital end, works for me. I assume that there are other takes, and maybe it's because I'm involved in tools that I can control the number of sounds, or I'm directing, or the artist or the musical director, or it's me, or it's someone that hired me because how I sound. So they tend to respect what I think about maybe having 3, 4 different tones for the show, and that's it. But if I need too many scenes or different tones or whatever, I would go fully digital, maybe capturing my own stuff, and that's it. I'm not worried about going digital or back to analog. If I can choose, I will keep analog, but probably it's more about the volume integration on the guitar and being
Mm.
more free. Let's see. But aside that, I'm not worried about that. And if there's any time in the future, and just dropping that thing, that
Yeah, you
that
know what? I think
yeah,
it's hard to replace the front end, the analog front end. I mean, of course, even in a digital product, you have an analog front end. Like you need to turn analog into
yeah,
digital, but there are so many ways to design the input of an analog product, like analog amps. Just the impedance itself uh, uh, is, I mean, there is no norm, like there is no rule or there is no truth to it. When we
yeah.
do an audio interface, of course, we usually want a high impedance input because that's usually what works best with instrument levels like guitars or bass. But in a pedal, you can do whatever you want. Like if you want a low impedance just to create something, or you want to play with that, obviously you can. In digital, we can't really do it because what you plug your guitar into is the audio interface. So we can't. Oh, something is having issues with their mic. No, we're back.
No, all good.
Uh,
It's okay. No one was hurt.
I
It
mean,
sounded like it, but everyone's fine.
no, I don't know. I mean, that's the digital thing. Probably not agreeing with me.
I read I
Have
read a
genome running, but
I read a good question here that from Poo Ninja. That are you even worried when capturing one of a kind special gear? I know it could be.
well, so uh, well, It's a good question because of course we have a lot of one of a kind stuff here, whether it's amp. So I mentioned Chris's personal amp or your own amp because it's just one, or your own pedal. There's just one.
Yeah, one.
So there are things that we are okay to do. I'll give you an example. Sometimes we will capture, let's say I get an AC30 from the 60s, but I just want the cabinet, but there is no plug or anything. So we have to unsolder the speaker to plug a cable and do the capture and everything. So that's pretty much the level I'm comfortable with, because we can't really break anything, and it's pretty. I mean, even on those products which are 60 years old, 70 years old, I mean, the middle parts are fine, and even if we break anything, it's easy to fix. I remember on some amp, but of course we always ask to the owner if he's okay. But on some combos, especially when you don't have an external speaker extension, we would just add one properly, not ruining the design. So either on the box itself or just a wire that is there, and that can be removed easily, and then you can plug the speaker directly. So that's the kind of mods that are easy to do. We've done some more complicated stuff on, for example, some amps, but that's my own collection, so I'm fine with it. But on some JMP, like super lead amps, where you don't have an FX loop, but we just want to capture the preamp, then we need to go under circuit, create an FX loop, and an FX return, FX10, FX return, and that doesn't exist. But like Marshall super leads that are not that hard to find. So, and even if we break anything, we can fix it. So it's not like we fry an output transformer, and those output
On a
transformer
Dumble amp.
on a dumbbell. Well, you know what? The problem with the dumbbell is that since it would put that stupid glue everywhere, epoxy stuff, we can't even if we want to, we can't really intervene in there. But with our amp modeling technology using neural networks, it's not an invasive technology. We can just capture the from the outside, sending an input signal and getting an output out of it. We don't even have to know what's going on inside, so we
Yeah.
don't have to tear it down and open everything. I mean, with your products, Danny, we didn't have to do that, and we would just figure out how the internal work from what we get out of it. And that's a little bit the magic of the neural network, or even for the speaker capture. We don't need to know how the speaker works. We're actually creating a model that just needs to listen to how the speaker works. By the way, I managed to have your Dirty Boy cabinet in my genome. So Ross is gone. Oh, he's there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So to be clear, this one doesn't exist, right? There is no
No,
analog.
you just the thing is that I saw a post at Blue Saraceno's Instagram feed talking about a cabinet that lost a couple of speakers. They were blow up, and he had a cabinet at the studio. And since we had to capture 3 cabinets, and I wanted 1x12, and we needed a 4x12 to cover all the classic Dirty Boy years, let's say, we have the missing link of a 2x12.
Mm.
What was the magic about having like any regular 2x12? And that idea came to my mind. That's what I do. I'm all day getting ideas. All the stuff that we were talking here is more or less ideas that I took and put together. So it was like, okay, I need a destroyer cabinet with just 2 speakers. Will be half the boy, half the green boy, and we can manage to make it happen just disconnecting a couple of cables there. So I
Yeah.
tried in Madrid. I like the thing, and when we arrived there, it was like removing the back, as you said, taking a couple of cables, even not need to the solder. It was like click, click. Sounds good. Let's capture, and that's
Yeah.
it.
No, it's actually pretty simple. So to finish answering our friend asking about the stuff, we always take extra precautions. So when I mean, with any amp, I'll give you an example. It's not necessarily like unique products, but we have friends. Let's say Laney sending us, or Angle is sending us one of their amps. It's a new amp. I'm supposed to ship it back. I will make sure it's treated properly here.
With respect.
Yeah, usually I don't want to buy it, so I just want to send it. I have plenty of amps already, so
Yeah, I bet.
everything. And you know what? I'm very, so maybe I have I'm weird, but with my stuff, I will clean it, and I will. I mean, I don't like breaking stuff as much as possible, so I try to explain that to my team, which has to follow the same rule I'm following myself, which is to treat all the gear with respect. Of course, those are not animals or human beings, but still, someone put his heart into it. Maybe that's a unique product. Maybe it's a new product that needs to go back new as possible. So of course we will always take extra precaution. But basically we just plug stuff, turn knobs, clean them afterwards, and ship back. So it's a very simple process that does not involve usually opening the stuff, taking measurements. I mean, it does happen, but when we do that, we have all the gear here to break it and fix it if needed. so, so, so it's usually pretty safe with us. I mean, we had so many. I mean, how many cabinets do we have, Ross? Maybe 800?
Over 8. I was literally about to say we're old hands at looking after what we call unobtainium, the stuff that there's only one of, especially from doing the cabinet captures. We're up to 800 now. A lot of those, especially our artist series ones, we've done ourselves, and we have to be really careful with that because you're getting the rarest of the rare, whether it's a Steve Stevens cabinet or one of Dave Friedman's cabinets that he uses to voice his amplifiers.
Yeah. We talk about the personal collection, like the Dave. I mean, Friedman doesn't sell cabinets, so we talk about Dave's own personal collection. And I remember I have one anecdote. So when we did the capture with George Lynch, George had some cabinets he wanted us, and that's his private collection. Like nobody can get them. He will never sell them. All right. So when they opened the cabinets to see exactly what speaker models were in there, George realized that Eddie Van Halen, actually it was Eddie's old cabinets. And Eddie actually put in writing a nice note. I think we have that on one of our videos. It was just,
Wow.
I was so sad not to be in that room at the time, but it was very emotional because actually George either forgot or didn't know that Eddie put a note in there.
No.
It's something very unique. So of course we treat all of that stuff with respect because despite the value of the object, there is usually a sentimental value attached to it. So like all the artists who give us their cabinets or amps, I mean, we know there is a strong emotional value, a strong history that comes with it. So of course we're not allowed to destroy them or even to hurt them.
And here I come to Montpellier in the train with my my Undertable cabinet is like not singing by Eddie Van Halen or whoever, something that we actually built in Spain, looking similar to something in the train. I mean, no fancy at all.
Yeah, but I mean, you were the bodyguard for that stuff. No, but real, it's not like you were just dumping it into a truck and ship it here. I mean, sometimes we have to do that. I
You
hate it
bet.
when we
Yeah.
have to ship stuff because you never know. So we usually ship stuff on pallets and make sure it's properly packaged and everything. When it's a new amp, I mean, sure, there are plenty of others, so that's fine if there is an issue. But most of the time with artist stuff, we try to be as close as possible from the artist's place, so we don't have to have the stuff shipped. And when we have to ship it, and sometimes happens, ooh, that's the like. I'm not worried about my team. I'm worried about the. I mean, we all had one day an issue with the package getting disappeared or destroyed during. I mean, we ship a lot of stuff, so of course we see a lot of that
You
happening.
bet.
So every time I'm like, ooh. I mean, the statistics are usually good, like you should receive the stuff, but yeah, there is always that. I mean, yeah, that tiny part of like bad luck that can always happen. So what's going on, Ross? What's with the question?
Yeah, we got a few comments. This one just came in from Six Sound Studio, a regular on our live streams. He said, Tim Mills told on the podcast that he was fixing Jimmy Page's pickup once. It was a pretty intense experience. Yeah, I
You
wouldn't want
bet.
to touch that. I wouldn't want to go
Oh,
anywhere near that.
I mean, the worst, the possibly worst experience to me is this. I happen to, I mean, when we have a band or an artist touring in the neighborhood or during one of the festivals we attend, so I will bring some gear to test. And I remember vividly once I brought some Torpedo Live to Steve Vai, and it was for Dave Wiener. and Dave was still working with Steve at the time, and they plug everything, and rehearsal is done. Okay, the show is in 2 hours, and they plug everything, and he starts playing with it, and they say, "Well, let's use it for the show," and I'm like, "Oh, guys, I mean, are you sure you want to do that? Like, what about we spend a bit more time adjusting? Yeah, that'll be good enough." That's the worst. I have actually another story, quick story about that. And of course, it's not Jimmy Page, but it was still pretty big. So when we released the Revolt guitar and bass preamps, I was at Hellfest, and Gojira was headlining Hellfest that year, and Jean-Michel, the bass player, sees the Revolt bass. He's like, "Oh, I really want to try it." I mean, so I'm like, "Sure, you know what? I have some little bit of gear here. I'm putting together a tiny pedal board. You can take it and play with it, and you just let me know if you like it." And honestly, I forget about it because I mean, I'm not the one in charge of artists. Ross does most of the heavy lifting with artists, so I'm giving them stuff, and then I forget. And I receive an Instagram post from Gojira's manager Taylor, uh, um, and Taylor sent me a picture of the rack, like the drawer Gojira bass rig with 100,000 people in the back, and I see my prototype Revolt bass there, and I know what's inside. It's a prototype, so it's mainly glue, right? Glue and a few wires, and he's like, "Dude, we adopted it instantly. I mean, it's awesome." And they were touring South America, so I believe they were maybe in Rio, or I'm not sure, probably in Brazil at the time. And I see the picture, and I'm like, "You realize you're using a prototype in front of 100,000 people?" He's like, "Oh, it's been working fine for the past 2 weeks." And I'm like, "Just no,
It's
just don't do
roadworthy.
that."
It's
Next
roadworthy.
day, I sent him a factory one because, I mean, it was a prototype. That's something I was using it here at the office to finish the. I mean, between that prototype and the factory, it was the final prototype. So it was not totally
Very close. Yeah, very
glue.
close.
It was
Yeah.
very, very close. But maybe, a few wires that you have on top of the PCB because you make a last minute decision. And man, I mean, I was happy not to be at the place when that happened, because that would, I mean, I don't have that many hair left, but I would have lost them all. And they kept using it for a week, and then they received the new one again,
Wow.
shipping it across the ocean into South America. It took a few days to catch them on the tour. So, well, I mean, I will stop with my stories. I have many like that, but yes, we're used to high pressure situations.
Well, I think that's a high pressure situation. Sounds like a good point to wrap this conversation up. Um, I thought we'd just go through a few things at the end, guys. If you want to learn more about Dirty Boy, go to www.dirtyboy.co. Or you can follow them on Instagram. They've got a great Instagram feed, Dirty Boy Pedals. Dirty Boy's released under our Fairtone agreement. If you want to read about that, if you haven't heard about it, head over to our site. It's on the top of the menu called Fairtone. Go and read it. It's about our mission statement with working with brands. And if you're new to Genome, go to genome.2notes.com and go and try the application, and
Yeah,
you'll get.
because I mean, anybody can download. I mean, you don't have to be a Genome owner. You just download
No.
Genome. You can try all the modules in real time in your DAW.
Mhm.
So you can try it before you buy anything. So, I mean, just give it a try.
Yeah, it's take it from us, you won't regret it, especially with these new Dirty Boy components.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's it. Danny, thank you so much for
Thanks for
joining us
having me.
today.
No, I loved it. Every bit of it.
All right.
Wonderful.
We'll be on the, as usual, Ross and myself will monitor questions. Of course, if you have questions, because most of the people see the video after the live stream, so we always take some time to answer the question. There are no stupid questions, so don't hesitate. And I can't wait to see the feedback from users on that release. But I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy to finally do something with you, Danny. It's awesome. And
Finally.
good luck with that brand. I mean, really, we believe in it.
Appreciate that. Means a word coming from you guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for trusting us.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.
Bye bye.